Rafael Nadal sends sweet congratulatory message to Carlos Alcaraz after U.S. Open win. Carlos Alcaraz won his sixth major title and second U.S. Open on Sunday when he defeated Jannik Sinner in an intense final in New York. The 22-year-old is quickly becoming a tennis legend. Wildly enough, Alcaraz's tennis hero Rafael Nadal had also won 6 major titles through age 22. Nadal captured 1 Australian Open, 4 French Open and 1 Wimbledon titles through 2008, which was the year he was 22 years old. Alcaraz turned 22 back in May, and his career is already mirroring his tennis heroes. How awesome! The two Spaniard tennis stars have created a special bond with one another, too, especially after competing in doubles at last year's Paris Olympics. So, Nadal of course posted a sweet congratulatory message for Alcaraz after his U.S. Open win. Congratulations! Champion again of the US Open and number 1. Nadal wrote, via translation, congratulations on all the work behind this great season. It's no question that Alcaraz and Sinner are the faces of the present and future of men's tennis. The two tennis stars have captured the past 8 major titles, 4 apiece, and the last 3 major finals have been showdowns between them. Alcaraz won that tiebreaker by capturing the US Open. If Alcaraz wants to be as great as Nadal was in the tennis world, he's got a lot left to accomplish. Nadal retired last year from tennis after winning 22 major titles, the second most in men's tennis history behind Novak Djokovic's 24. It'll be exciting to see what Alcaraz can do. The tennis world often celebrates its champions on the grandest stages, Rod Laver Arena under the Australian sun, Wimbledon Centre Court amid the roars of tradition, Arthur Ashe Stadium under New York lights. Yet, away from the glitz and glory, countless battles are fought in the shadows, battles against the body, against expectations, and against the cruel unpredictability of sport. One such story unfolded as British tennis star Jack Draper, once tipped to be the nation's next great hope, announced the premature end of his 2025 season after an arm injury setback. This was not merely the conclusion of a campaign. It was a pause in a narrative filled with promise, hardship, and the resilience of a young man unwilling to let fate dictate his future. The rise before the fall. To understand the weight of Draper's decision, one must revisit the trajectory that brought him to this point. From his early days as a standout junior, Draper was touted as a player built for the modern game. Tall, powerful, and left-handed, he combined raw aggression with a deft touch. Britain, a nation still basking in the afterglow of Andy Murray's golden era, looked at Draper as the heir apparent. By his early 20s, he had cracked the ATP top 50. His serve was a cannon, his forehand a whip, and his competitive edge sharpened by years of relentless training. Commentators whispered that he had the game to win big titles, if only his body could keep up. That if would soon become the defining question of his young career. The season that promised so much. The 2025 season was supposed to be different. Draper entered the year healthy, energized, and determined to make a push into the top 20. His opening months hinted at brilliance, a spirited run at the Australian Open, where he pushed a seeded opponent to 5 sets, followed by a strong showing at Indian Wells. Analysts praised his maturity and tactical growth, noting that his game had evolved beyond brute force into something more nuanced. There were whispers that Wimbledon might be his stage, that he could channel the home crowd's energy into a breakthrough run. Sponsors lined up, the British press followed his every move, and fans dared to hope that a new star was ready to ascend. But sport, in its cruelest form, is never scripted. The first signs of trouble. It began innocuously enough, tightness in the arm during a spring hardcourt match. Draper dismissed it as fatigue, a natural byproduct of his rigorous schedule. He played through the discomfort, unwilling to concede momentum. Yet, those close to him noticed the winces, the subtle massages of his forearm between points, the slight dip in serve speed. By May, the pain was no longer background noise. His serve, once a devastating weapon, lost its sting. His forehand, reliant on explosive arm rotation, grew inconsistent. After a second-round exit in Rome, he admitted in press conferences that he was managing something. But in tennis, managing often translates to fighting against the inevitable. The breaking point. Wimbledon, the cathedral of British tennis, was meant to be Draper's showcase. Instead, it became a cruel stage for his unraveling. In the second round, amid chants of encouragement, Draper struggled visibly. His serve barely cracked 110 miles per hour. His once lethal forehand sailed long, and his frustration boiled over with uncharacteristic racket smashes. After the match, he walked off not just defeated, but broken. Scans revealed what fans feared, a strain in the forearm tendons, aggravated by months of overuse. Rest and rehabilitation were prescribed, but even then, the prognosis was murky. Injuries of this kind often linger, casting long shadows over careers. The decision to end the season. By September, hope for a comeback in the latter half of the season dwindled. Draper and his team faced a crossroads, push for a rushed return, risking further damage, or concede the year entirely. Draper chose the latter, announcing through a heartfelt statement that he was ending his 2025 season early. "This is not how I envisioned the year," he wrote. "But my health must come first. I will use this time to heal, reflect, and return stronger. Tennis has given me everything, and I owe it to myself to ensure I can play it for many more years." The words resonated with fans. For those who had followed his journey, it was a moment of heartbreak tempered by admiration. Draper had shown wisdom beyond his years, the courage to step back when every instinct screamed to push forward. The toll of injuries in modern tennis. Draper's story is not unique. The annals of tennis are littered with careers derailed or shortened by injury. From Juan Martín del Potro's endless battles with his wrists to Rafael Nadal's heroic fight against chronic knee pain, the body often becomes the fiercest opponent. In Draper's case, his physical style of play, built on raw power and relentless hitting, made him vulnerable. Sports science can extend careers, but it cannot erase the inherent wear and tear of the sport. Each serve, each forehand, each stretch on the baseline carries risk. His season's end serves as a stark reminder. The line between triumph and tragedy in professional sport is thinner than a chalk-marked baseline. The emotional fallout. For Draper, the setback was not merely physical. Emotionally, it was devastating. Athletes live on routine, practice, competition, recovery, repeat. When that rhythm is broken, an unsettling void emerges. Draper admitted privately to close friends that the hardest part was not the pain, but the silence, the absence of crowds, the absence of purpose. Sports psychologists often emphasize that injury recovery is as much mental as physical. The fear of re-injury, the anxiety of lost time, the questions about self-worth, all weigh heavily. Draper, known for his calm demeanor on court, now faced an internal storm. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.